And finally, before we close this edition of Women's Worldview, we shall address Princess Shreya Bhatia in her segment called Taal mein Taal. Her fascination for music has created a sensation globally. Shreya ji was kind enough to extend an invitation towards me to come share my thoughts, views and cues of music in my little lifestyle.
Namaste and welcome to Taal mein Taal, the show about you, me, and our love for music. Today is a very special episode of Taal mein Taal. I've talked about having a very special guest on the show and having a conversation with someone that may be one of the best known, talented individuals in our area. You see her every week at every major cultural event, so she needs no introduction. But I know that we all want to know about the person behind the name. I have known her for 8 years now, but today I'm honored to have her on my show. Without further ado, let me welcome the queen herself, Mrs. Nilima Mehra. Hi, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you very much for inviting me. I'm honored, Princess. How have you been?
I'm good. How are you?
Very nice. I like you all in all colors, particularly in green.
Thank you.
Very nice.
So before we start, let me first apologize because there's no way I can do justice to the way that you do your interviews. But I know that our audience wants to know a lot more about you.
Okay.
So starting a little bit away from the music world, I'd love to hear about more of your professional life outside of entertainment.
Okay. And how much time are you going to give me? 30 seconds? I'm just joking. Well, Shreya, I'm an old woman. I was born in Montreal, Canada. And bachpan se till I became a biochemist, I did my entire schooling in Canada, in Montreal. So I speak English and French fluently. Whatever Hindi I know is taught by my mother and father. And I became a biochemist. I graduated with a great honor degree from McGill University, which you know is one of the best in the world, from Montreal. And then, of course, I got married and then moved to your country, the adopted country, the United States of America, 33 years ago, and therefore I'm here today.
Wow. And now we know that your daughter is about to graduate and become a neurologist. So we'd like to hear more about your family and your children.
Okay. My husband, Dr. Rajesh Nandan Mehra, is a family doctor as well as emergency board certified. Like you said, I have 3 children. The oldest is Mandira. She was born in Pennsylvania and moved here at the age of, well, she was a baby, did all her schooling here at Congressional, and then went to George Washington University, where she did her undergrad, and then of course did her medical school there as well. And she graduated with honors, applied into neurology, got at Jefferson in Philadelphia, and now she's graduating in 2 weeks with an honorary degree, and is going to do her fellowship in what's called interventional neurology. So that's her, and then the other 2 are also medical doctors. The middle one did his medicine out of the country and is applying into internal medicine at the moment. And the baby, who I consider is Bhagwan ka din, is something very special. As young as he is, he's a genius, because at his age, 22, he's actually finishing his 2nd year residency in neurosurgery, which is a very competitive field, and you can't just get into it. And I think every year about 100 children apply throughout the nation, and you've just got to be very lucky to get to be selected to be one of them.
Wow.
So that's where we are with the children.
It's an extremely successful family.
Successful family, but I'll tell you what, it's very difficult to live with 4 doctors in the house, because when there is a roundtable conference, they're all at a warpath, you know. One case, my God, 4 ghanta usi ke upar baat karti hai. So.
Okay, so now coming to the music world, how did you get involved in Indian culture, Indian music, and how did you get into TV specifically?
Okay, the inspiration is my mother is a wonderful singer. Okay, her brothers, her sisters are all singers. So naturally, it's in the genes. At the age of 3.5, it was my very first stage performance in music, classical music, and I was all ready, and I used to take classical music training from a guru in Montreal, Canada, even at that age. So when the curtain opened, I was all dressed in red. I looked at everybody, it was all sold out, full show. I couldn't perform. All I did was tears just rolled down my cheeks. And everybody clapped. The more they clapped, the more they whistled, the more they cheered, the tears just ran down till the curtains closed. But that was just the beginning. And after that, my mom still loved me. We went into learning more of music, and I think music is one genre of life that lifts you into the orbit. It is as complicated as the twilight, you know, diving into that smoky region of life. That's my experience, and of course, when I was young like you, I was a singer as well, but I never pursued because violin was my passion. So I am a violin player. I did take sitar for a while, but I play the violin pretty well, even till today. And then dance, I do Kathak, I do Bharatanatyam, and Mandra is very good at Bharatanatyam, and so are the boys. They're well trained, and Jaruji here taught all 3 children Bharatanatyam, and before Jaruji took over, I used to teach them at home. So that's where music fits in, and as far as television is concerned, I owe my credit and my being on television due to late Manade. I was a little girl, and my first dance was on his song.
Wow.
I was telling your dad earlier today off the camera, it's very easy to dance and sing to a female artist.
Yeah.
But it's very difficult. I mean, you yourself, you're a wonderful singer, and you know it's very difficult to perform to a male song and a male, you know, dance steps. But so as a child, I attended one of his concerts, and he said, "Is there anyone here who would like to request a song?" And of course, little me raised my hand, and he says, "Wo choti ladki idhar aao, idhar aao." So I went. He says, "Kya sunna hai beta?" So I told him the song, and he says, "एक ही शर्त पे सुनाऊंगा, अगर आप यहाँ बैठेंगी और वो line मुझे सुनाएंगी." So he made me sit in his lap. I sang the song, just a couple of lines, and he says, "यहाँ पर अगर कोई movie producer है, TV producer है, इस लड़की को आप तुरंत TV पे ले लें." And of course, there was a television producer there, and he contacted my father. So ever since that, the past 44 years, I've been doing television.
Wow. Would you like to sing a little bit for us today?
No, I mean, in front of you, no. You're such an accomplished singer. I mean, I look at you as an artist.
Thank you.
I'm almost embarrassed to sing.
Thank you.
But music is a very special part of me because it lifts, you know, it lifts the mute, the dumb, the smart, जो गम में है. कई लोग होते हैं जो तन्हाई में गम में होते हैं, वो they turn towards alcohol.
Right.
But then there are others that turn towards music. Because music is a healer. Music has no language. Music is a language of love. Even the plants are serenaded by music. So.
Great. And so out of all the artists that you've talked to, who do you think is your favorite musician or singer?
Musician or sing actors are a different part of the world. I mean, I thought that Amitabh Bachchan was my best interview as far as the actors are concerned, but as far as the musicians go, I mean, I'm going to be biased. Cheat. Now, as far as the musicians go, I think my best interview was with late Manade. It was an hour and a half long, and I think I've never interviewed another singer or a vocalist or a music composer like I had interviewed him. It truly holds very close to my heart, that interview.
And when you see the songs from that different era of when, you know, Lata Mangeshkar, Asha Bhosle, versus now, what differences do you see in the industry?
Shreya, I think I mean, you yourself are a vocalist, and I need not say your Taal Mein Taal has done wonders to our show, so thanks a million for that.
Thank you.
But I honestly think there's nothing like the old times. Old is gold. And I think what Lataji gave, and I think you know that Lataji she just produced her very first Sufi album. She's never sung Sufi in her life. And on her father's death anniversary, so I think, to be honest with you, I don't see any difference. I mean, there's a huge gap. There's a huge gap. Music today, you can't replace it with music of yesterday.
Right.
Yesteryears are golden. They're memorial, and people try and imitate, but you can't.
So going a little bit back to television, what was your vision when you started Chitramala, for example, which is where we first met when I came here when I was 8 years old.
That's
right.
And
you gave me the wonderful opportunity to sing on Chitramala.
Now, at that point, did you know you were going to host your own show?
No. So 8 years later. But what was your vision when you started working with Chitramala, on Chitramala?
The vision was to actually serve the community. Television, radio, Shreya, is not money making. I don't take food on the table from television. And if you talk to anyone out in the community, it's all community service. It's all human related. So a lot of people, I'll be honest with you, they take you for granted. You know, they just call it the last minute. Hey, this has to go on TV. Little do they know that television is fivefold.
Yeah.
It's the cameraman, it's the shooting, it's the studio, it's the editing, it's the output, and finally, relay of broadcast. So they take Nilima, Mehra for granted. Arey Nilima ji ke paas chale jao, wo to kar dengi. Haan ji, hum kar denge. Yes, I love to serve you. I love to serve the community. But there is a little line that you can't pass because you've got to understand. So my vision was, day one, serve the community. I'm in love with serving humanity. So even 44 years later, I'm the same and I haven't changed.
Right, and in terms of serving the community, you have given so many talented artists the opportunity to showcase their talent, like, as I said, 8 years ago. So before leaving today, is there any message that you have for our audience? Because I'm sure they would love to hear something.
That's a tough one. I have so much to say, and she's only given me a couple of seconds. All I've got to say is GTV is here for you. We are the voice of the community. You may come, you may portray your talents, you may talk to us and tell our community about your viewership, how you like the programming. You can be a part and parcel of our show. You can actually portray your talents, talk about your business, talk about loneliness, happiness, passion of life, any and everything, and we're here to serve you. Just like I told Princess Shreya, my first motive, and even till today, is to serve the community. And GTV or Chitramala is for the community, of the community, and by the community.
Great, thank you so much. And I hope everyone out there enjoyed the interview. I definitely enjoyed hearing more about Mrs. Mehra's life. She's truly an inspiration. And see you next time on Taal Mein Taal, the show about you, me, and our love for music. Namaste.
Do continue with the good work and congratulations.
Thank you.
और आपने ताल में ताल यानी कि Women's World View में 4 चांद लगा दिए. Thanks a million. Continue.